Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and we're going to be playing right now Kneel Before Glorak. And you can almost feel like an evil laugh in the background there, as you can see, like an ominous shadowy figure on a massive throne in front of all of these individuals that are just kneeling and worshipping and, I guess, obeying. Ultimately, this is what it's all after. Now, before we get on with today's puzzle, I'm sure some of you are wondering what happened to this morning. And I'm just going to say I was just way too run down to be able to post something for Saturday morning. Just exceptionally busy few weeks. I think I mentioned in the past I was helping Mrs. Sleuth with starting her business. I was first building a website. I was actually even building like a clinic management software in the background. Now I was really keen to make sure it's ready for her first customer. That was yesterday. And let's just say it could have gone a bit better, but that's what happens when you're working way past midnight on a regular for many, many weeks leading up to the event. Anyhow, it's behind us. I'm a little bit better rested, a bit under the weather, but otherwise all good. So, plan is to continue our normal schedule, although at some point I may think around how do I insert regular breaks, and probably thinking around occasionally dialing back weekend puzzles. So it's not 4, maybe just normal 2. I'll let you know. Anyhow, today's puzzle, help me get back into it, is a 1-star difficulty rated puzzle. And it looks almost intimidating, given the title, and when you actually see the grid, which I'll bring up in a second, it does look intimidating. It does look like some kind of monster, and everybody is demanding everyone to kneel in front of him. But looks like lots of fun. Anything else to mention before we crack on? That's enough of an introduction. Let's just do that with Kneel Before Glorak by Gnubeutel. You're going to have to excuse me if I absolutely butchered your name's pronunciation. And you can see what I'm referencing here by a fairly intimidating figure. I'm guessing this is like arms raised, like an angry expression, and eyes, I don't know, eyebrows, something. Who knows? Rules-wise, we've got the following. Normal Sudoku rules apply. You know what that means. Place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and then every 3x3 box. Nothing unusual here. Then we have the following set of rules. There are extra regions. So cell-shaded gray form an extra region made up of the digits 1 to 9. Right, so this kind of frowny, angry face, I'm guessing is the gray 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. So these are also the digits 1 to 9. Then we have, of course, the thermometers. So thermometer here, thermometer there. And the thermometer rules is digits on a thermometer increase from the bulb end. That's the bulb end. So essentially, if this cell is a 3, this would have to be 4 or higher. So it's 4. This could be 6. I don't have to make steady steps of 1 and then 2. That's absolutely fine. What I cannot do is start shrinking at any point and go down to 5. That doesn't work. Right, we've got killer cages. So digits in cages must not repeat and sum to the number in the top left corner of the cage. So it means that these 3 cells add up to 12. If this cell was a 2, then these 2 cells have to add up to 10, so that 10 plus 2 is equal to 12, such as 3 and 7. That would be a valid set of pencil marks for that 12 cage. 14, 35, you get the gist. No shortage of rules today. We've got diagonals as well. So you can see the blue lines here that form diagonals, and digits may not repeat on each of them. So if you count the number of cells on each diagonal, they are 9 cells. And that means the digits 1 to 9 once each, again on each of these blue lines. So looking forward to solving this one. I'm hoping what means is we solve this fairly quickly. That means we have withstood Glorak and we don't have to kneel before him. As always, for you to play along, link will be in the description down below. And for that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. Just curious. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Okay. So it's not forced, but it's close to forced. Now, this 7 cage, I am pretty sure is forced. This has to be 1, 2, 4. Can't have 1 on this step 2. And I think whilst this could be a 4, that would mean that this is smaller. So that is definitely not the 4. That's the 2. That is clearly not the 1. That's the 4. And that's the 1. That means that this is 1, between 2 and 4 in the thermometer, this is 3, but we have some degrees of freedom now up here. This could be 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8, 7, 8, 9. Something that I tend to often not do on thermometers is not pencil mark them, and I probably should. And this is actually useful on this thermometer because that can't be a 1, that immediately is 2, 3. So it removes a degree of freedom from this thermometer, if I can actually pencil mark the right thermometer. Right, let's think about the 14 gauge. Why am I thinking about the 14 gauge? Is there nothing more obvious? Let me just think about that. I've sort of jumped in just because I was very curious if these are like, they look like very lengthy thermometers. They're not exactly 9 cells, so it's not entirely forced, but not far off. So anyway, if I minimize this, that's 3 and 8, 3 and 5 to get to 8, and that would be a 6. That is technically feasible. I could do 3, 4, 5, 6, and that would be 7, 8, and 9. Now, if I try and maximize this, 4 and 6, it doesn't work because that means that's 10, and that would be a remainder of 4. That's not possible. But I guess there is another one that's possible, which is 3 and 6 or 4 and 5, so that would be 9. And therefore, that would be another 5. That's my instinct. Instinct is saying that would be possible. So I don't think I can do 4 and 5. Can I? Yeah, because what would that cell be? So 4 just seems to be impossible. Can't do it with 5, can't do it with 6. So that's just 3, that's just 2. 5, 6 would mean that this is a 4, and this is a 7, and this is an 8, and this is a 9. But then we do have a degree of freedom in here, and both ways work for now. Right, the obvious things, 35 gauge and 5 cells, that is forced. So these cells have to be 1 and 4. That 4 means that's 4, that's 1. Just if you think about it, essentially, the easier way would be to think around this, all of the digits in this box have to add up to 45, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, etc. All the way to 9, that's Sudoku, gets you to 45. 35 are in here, meaning that these 4 cells have to add up to 10. And that can only be 1, 2, 3, 4. Less pressure here, but not exactly that much less pressure, to be fair. Is it? Because the 3 and 4 are inside here. So my natural instinct is to wonder if this is 5, 6. And the answer is quite possibly. Let me just think about this. Essentially, the difference between the 3, 4 and the 5, 6, that's 11. And this is... Sorry, that's 7 and that's 11, so there's a difference of 4. 35 and 28, there's a difference of 7. So no, it's not 5, 6, it's not minimized. Do I want to think about it a bit more, or should I just move on in the interest of time? Tempted to say move on in the interest of time, but I'm just going to spend a few minutes thinking about this 28 gauge and 5 cells. So, fairly sure it needs to have a 9. I'm going to have to do some triangular numbers quickly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If it doesn't include a 9, it would be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 6 is in the middle, so it's 6. Hang on, I'm losing the plot a bit. 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8. Yeah, that is correct. So that would be essentially 6 times 5. That's 30. So I'm not even sure I have to have a 9 in here, do I? Did I do some dodgy math? No, I'm on the... Right, I am kind of slowly waking up. So let's try this differently. We know that 3 and 4 are in here. We know that there's another 3 cells that will add up to the remainder. So these are 7. That means that these 3 cells have to add up to 21. And yeah, I can still do 6, 7, 8, and 5 and 9 up here. Right, that's a little bit easier. So essentially, I have a remainder of 14. That's the way I should have thought about it all along, which means it's either 5, 9 or 6, 8. 5, 9 or 6, 8. The only thing that I do know is that the 3, 4, and 7 are all in here. These are not 3s, these are not 4s, and then 2 more cells that add up to 14, 6, 8, or 5, 9. Okay, I'm gonna park it there with this because that can't be resolved on its own. 8 and 9 are removed, so that removes a degree of freedom in here. This is now 5 or 6. And we know that 4 is none of these cells. We know that it's none of these cells. We know that 4 has to be in one of these 3 cells. I mean, Sudoku could have given us that. I'm not saying much, really. So far, this region hasn't really helped us that much. Interesting. I guess my observation so far is the next step is not necessarily leaping off the page for me. So I guess the next thing is I should probably think about these thermometers. So these 4 cells are the same as these 4 cells, but like it's not very useful right now. 12 cage in 3 cells, not very restrictive. I mean, we removed a 4. We've removed having 5 and 6 in here. You know, so like one thing that I do know, I say I do know, I don't think that's true. I was going to say I can't have a 1 inside a 12 cage, but I can. It doesn't have to be 5, 6, doesn't have to be 4, 7. I could have 3, 8 or 2, 9. So yeah, pencil marks. The 12 cage, I can use 1, 2, and 9. So like I'm not even forced to exclude any numbers. Let's just do some Sudoku until inspiration hits me. 1 and 2 are in here. You see, 4 cell thermometers, although admittedly they share a lot of the same boxes, so it's not quite, you know, free for all, because they massively interact with one another. I mean, there are 6 cells in here that are on the thermometers. So somewhat interesting, but I'm not quite sure how, I can't quite grasp how to use it just yet. Right, let's use this region. 1 and 1 in particular. It's none of these cells, can't be this one because of this one. One of these is a 1. Useful. I want to think about, we know that 3 is none of these. We know that 3 is not here because we forced it, I mean, Sudoku. So 3 has to be in one of these as well. So this is a 1, 3. That's 4, that's 8. 8, if I can type. So that is useful. Right. What else do I know? 8 is in one of these 2 cells, which means 8 is in one of these 2 cells. 8 can't be on the diagonal. That's 8. 8 can't be here. 8 can't be there. But there's still plenty of spaces for 8 there. So move 1, I guess. Yeah, move on. So I said something around, I mean, again, that can't be 8. Can it? Yes, it can be. Because that's not on the grey. I mean, if that's 8, that's definitely 8. Because I need one on the grey box. Grey region, I should say. Which isn't possible because of this 8. So that can't be 8. None of these could be 8. Where is 8 on the region? Inside this region. That's the only place for it. So 8 is none of these. It's one of these 2. right? Starting to narrow it down now. So we know what these are. I know, for example, that this is not 7. In fact, this 5, 6, where is it in the region? Well, it's none of these cells. That's 5 or 6. We kind of knew that anyway, but we do know that its counterpart is 8 or 9. And these cells are the remainder. So that would include another 5, 6, a 2, an 8, not an 8. So let's just 2, 5, 6, because we already got 4, we've already got 3, 7, and 9. That's basically the remainder. Although obviously it's any of them could be anywhere. What may be helpful is now to jump back to this thermometer. So if this is 9 and this is 8 and this is 7, the maximum I can put in here is 6. So if you think about what's left in this box, I have 2, 4, 5, and 6. That is not part of 1 or 3. So these cells are 2, 4, 5, or 6. And obviously 6 is very restrictive. It becomes 7, 8, 9. Now, because of that, you see, it feels like they need to have a bit of distance between one another. Because if I go 6, 7, 8, 9, I can't go 5, because essentially I'd only have 6 remaining up here, and then 7, 8, and 9 are gone. So I can only have one of the 5 and 6. I mean, obvious clue here. Now, can I even get away with 4 and 6? I'm not sure I can. So 6, 7, 8, and 9, 4, 5, and 6, and then 7, 8, and 9 are all gone. So I think I have to have a 2 in here, along with, I imagine that 4 is probably far enough. So 2 is definitely in one of these 2 cells. Gives me plenty of freedom to put some digits in here. It means obviously that the 1 is in one of these 3 cells. No 1 there. Eight is not here, so 8 is in one of the thermometers. And obviously it can be in the end, or it could be 8, 9. Don't know yet. One thing we did say is 7 and 9, they have to be in here. So 7 and 9 are not there. So one of these digits, the 2 or 6, that is joined on here has to be there, or the 5 for that matter, because we don't know whether it's 5 or 6. Is that all roughly right? I did say there's 2, 4, no, sorry, excuse me, 2, 5, 7, 9. And the 7 and 9, 7 is in here, the 9 doesn't have to be. I could put it down the middle. So technically this could be 9 as well. Okay. 1 and 3, they're not in there, which means that these 2 cells are known. This is the 9. This is the last option, the 2. Completing this row means I have another 5, 6, and something else. A 7, I'm going to say. So this is 5, 6, 7, and a definite 7. 5, 6, 7 triple means that this is not 5 or 6. So essentially there's a 2, 9 in here. There's second 5, 6 is there with the 7, and then one of 2 or 9. Now I already said the 2 has to be on one of these thermometers because of the challenge we have filling these in. If I put 4 and 6, for example, even if that's, so let's try that again, 6, 7, 8, 9, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 are gone. So yeah, 2 is here, 2 is not there, 2 has to be there. That means that this is 8 and 9. And this is 5, 6, 7, 9. So one of the 5 6s is here. One of them is there, together with a 2 and a 4. Okay. I think I can live with the conclusion so far. 4, obviously, not here. I thought this puzzle would be a little bit easier because of the overwhelming amount of information that's on it. But I'm kind of taking it back. I think it's almost like there's so many clues that you're constantly like wondering where I should be focusing. So 5, 6, 4, what else do we have? We need a 9, which can only be down here. We need a 2, which can only be up there with the 4, and therefore this is a 7, 9 pair. This is another pair that is 5 or 6. Okay. Only thing we know about this one is that there's a 7 in here, plus one of 6, 9, 6, 8 or 5, 9. Interesting. Okay. So 5, 6, and 3. And then 5, 6, and 1 and 7. 1 has to be, yeah, it does, has to be here on the diagonal. And then 7, 5, 6, 7 with a definite 7. Maybe it's time to use these diagonals a bit better. Yeah, the challenge is I don't know what is going on here. Still too many options. We've already got the 4. We still don't have the 3 anywhere in here. So there is a 3 there, not here. One of these 2 cells. Not brilliant. 2. Yeah, technically it's in one of these 2s, and I don't know which one. 1 we've also not placed yet, so 1 has to be up here somewhere, and the only place for it is there. I think that's very nearly the ones other than this X-Wing done. Let's keep going. This is proving somewhat fruitful. There are no 8s on any of the diagonals, but like I don't have them pencil marked anywhere. 9's not here. 9 could be there, never mind. It could be there, of course. I think this is as far as I could take it with the diagonals, and I'm just basically going to have to put in a lot more effort in pencil marking these, which, as you can see, I'm loath to do. So I'm just trying to put that off for as much as I possibly can. And I think all I'm doing is just delaying the inevitable. 4 can't be there. It has to be in one of these 3 cells. It can't be on the diagonal. That's 4 and 4. It means 4 is in one of these 3 cells. Yeah, I'm going to say time to bite the bullet, Sleuth. So we removed 1 and 2, because one of these could be 2, one of these is 2. I still have the 3 option there. Right. So we said one of them is 2 because otherwise it's too much pressure. Now if I go with 2, 3, remember 4 can't be there, 5. I should have explained why the 4s, because they're lining up in rows 1 and 2. So 2, 3, 5, 6. And then 6, 7, 8, 9. But the thing is, if I go with 4, so 2, and I'm essentially what I'm testing is minimizing 2, 3, 5, and 6. That's the absolute minimum I can make one of the thermometers. But I'm pretty sure I can get away with something as low as 4. But regardless, it still ends up being 7, 8, and 9. I'm slowly coming to the conclusion that there is enough pressure here that there has to be a 9 in one of these two cells, but I don't know why I keep coming back to that. And I feel like I need to put some more logic behind that. I don't know if I wanted to remove that too. Let me put it this way. Can I avoid having a 9 in here? How would that work? That would be 8, 7, 6. And then that would be 5, let's say. Let's give that a go. 8, 7, 6. But then this is 2, 3, 5. I think the answer is no. Because if I try and minimize this, there just isn't enough digits. Obviously that 3 could be a 4. I mean, that's always like a 5 or higher, given the 4s are down here. So maybe that's the way to actually make some progress. This is always 5 or higher. 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. And these are 6, 7, 8, 9. So I've got essentially 5 options. 4 of them are in here. And then I can get away with, excuse me, 7, 8, 9. So the 7 doesn't need to line up. I feel like I'm missing something obvious now. I must be. Yeah, it's nice to occasionally try and force through like a hard route, but given the 1-star difficulty rating, it's very obviously telling me, Sleuth, you're missing something obvious. And maybe that's not it. Maybe that is something else. So 1s, yeah, 2s, 2 is in here. For example, 2 can't be there. That's a 2. That's a 4. That's a 2. That's the 2 on a diagonal. That's not the 2. That's the 2. So, given this is at least a 4, that is not 4. Four, 5, etc. Right. So, does that mean this is 3, 4 pair now? And this was because it can't be... yeah. I think that does force this to be 3, 4 pair. Let me just make sure I haven't kind of taken a liberty there and jumped to conclusions. It just didn't feel like normal logic to say that this is restricted to at least 5. But because the 4 was always down here, let me do that. I kind of always saw, because this is at least 2, 3 is here. What would that be with the 4 there? So that's 5. So yeah, that's solid. And therefore, because this is 4, this is another 5, 6, 7. That can't be 5. That can't be 6. And this is indeed a 3, 4 pair, which means that's not a 3, that is a 3. And we clearly have placed a ton of digits in here. So we've got 5, 6, 7, and 9. Sadly, all 4 options are still here. Are they? 3, 4, not a 3, is a 3. No 3's here. 3 is down there, which means 3 is in here. 5, 6, 7, 9. Have we done anything with the 8s? No. No 9s. That's the only place I can see in for a 9 in this row. Because we've got 5, 6, 7 triple. And we have a 6, 7, 8 triple. As in there's another 6, 7, 8 and a 5 somewhere in here. Which surprisingly I still can't place. Nine is definitely now at the top. That's about it. Right, I should be able to do something in here, surely. Surely. Excuse me. I mean, this is another 4, 5, 6. When you 7 and 9 are in here, plus another 5 or 6. Just revisiting my Sudoku in case I've missed something. Because the fact that we're this far into the puzzle and I'm still not able to place any of the digits in here is just a bit of a surprise. Which leads me to think to the fact that I've missed something. But I'm not seeing it. Sounds like I didn't take long enough of a break, or seems like I didn't take long enough of a break. Is that the only place now for a 1? Seems that way, doesn't it? Not a 4. Only place for a 4 in this column now is in here. And more of this 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 nonsense. Fascinating puzzle. 3. Eight, which will hopefully start to give me some progress. So 9, 5, not 5, 6, 7, 9 is 5. And then we know the composition of this now. 4, 7, 6, 8. We said these are not 4s. I don't know why I put in the 5s. 4, 7, 6, 8. So yeah, I am missing the 8. And no 8s here. No 8s there. That's the 8. 4, 6, 7. Only place for an 8 is up here, which means none of these are 8. So the 8 is joined up there with the 9. That's an 8-9 pair. This is a 5, 6, 7 triple. This is 5, 6, 7 now. Can I do better? Yeah, that's not the 5. That's the 5. This is 6, 7. This is 6, 7. That's 8. That's 9. 6, 7, 6, 7. Not a 4. Is 4. Right, fascinating. 8, we said, and 6 plus a 7. So this is now 6, 7, 8. Not an 8. What about this diagonal? Is it helping me now? Yes. 7. Not 7 or 9. Therefore, that is 6. That is 5. That is 6. That is 9. This is, none of these are 6. So that's 7. a 5, a 6, and we probably have it from here. I must have made a mistake somewhere along the way, because I'm not sure how I can resolve these. Probably down here. Yeah, 6, 7, which means this is the 6. This is not 6 or 7, this is 8. That's 9, that's 8. 7, 9, not 6, not 8 either. That's 7, that's 6, that is 9, that is 7. 6 and 7 are also resolved, and we've basically got it. I don't know if I made this way harder than it really is, and I think the answer to that is probably yes. But what a fascinating puzzle. I really enjoyed this. Thank you so much for the puzzle, Gnubeutel. I'm glad I didn't have to kneel before Glorak, although it felt like it was touch and go at times. Hopefully it wasn't for you guys, and you stood up straight the entire time. And back to the normal schedule tomorrow on Sunday morning, so hopefully a harder puzzle for then. See you back soon. Bye-bye for now.